Hi everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise, and today I'm using Jamie Sawyer's Path Tarot. And as usual, I'm looking for 3 cards to help us with the day, but also to help grow our souls. Okay. Goodness, all reversals. Okay, that's all right. I'm going to use the little Lenormand deck that she's also created to tune in a little more specifically. And I'll turn the cards around so that you can see. So this is the little Lenormand deck. But I'll bring the cards upright so that so you can see the images more clearly. Oops, no reversals in the Lenormand. Okay. All right, so for our theme, what do we have going on here? I think it's the Ten of Cups. Yeah, you can see it's the happy family card. You know, kids playing, parents loving watching them. They're very satisfied. Very, very, very happy. You can't get any more emotionally fulfilled than this card when it comes to family relations. Now, I suppose maybe the Queen of Cups would bring in being very happy, emotionally fulfilled within yourself, either the Queen or the King of Cups. Okay, but coming through reversed, well, it brings in the element of maybe this, rather than for the day, is just more of a spiritual message in coming into our own happiness outside of our family, even if we're having any type of a conflict. Because when this card's reversed, of course, it's a little bit of at least disharmony. If we've grown up in families where there were divorce or broken dreams, like a parent always promising to do better, or just fighting, any kind of disharmony, what happens is that the children don't feel safe. The parents have to be in alignment and in harmony with each other for children to feel safe. And without feeling, completely safe, or safe enough, right? I mean, because there's no perfect parent. But without feeling safe, our creativity is, hampered. It's not going to blossom fully. It's not going to. It's not going to blossom fully, and that's because we're too busy defending. We're too busy being in a defensive place. And we have that right here with the Nine of Wands. This is a card straight up of perseverance and resilience, right? And courage. But it's also a card of self-defense. It's also a card of a little bit of a battle going on all the time and a setback. So when it comes through reversed, I mean, the cards are right here together just telling us the whole thing. It's like, I don't even need to tap into my, spiritual law background and self-study for the last, I don't even know, since the 90s. The cards are right here. They're telling us that when we've come from a family where there wasn't harmony and where the parents weren't in alignment, then we go through life exhausted. We go through life when it's, when we have the Nine of Wands reversed, we go through life defensive. And so we might be tired a lot of the times. This could This could be a card of like chronic pain, exhaustion, chronic fatigue syndrome, everything that people go through when their immune system is kind of working overtime, trying to balance out, the cortisol and the adrenaline. The adrenal gland is overworked. And it takes a lot of healing, It takes meeting the pain of the past. It takes breaking out of the, I guess you could call it the tribal conflict, because usually what happens is that people grow up and they marry their parents, right? They do. It's just the way it works. Unless you resolve the issues before you get married. So, depending on what your parents were like, to the degree you resolve that depends, that further depends on the type of people we will partner up with. So there's that to think about and take into consideration. And with the little Lennies here, with the Lenormand, the book, that definitely, it can speak to so many different levels, but primarily, on the most simple terms, it can be something that's secret or something that's hidden, but it can also be like our Akashic records. It can be, where everything is stored, from all our lifetimes. But I'm not one that believes that everything's set in stone. I do not believe that at all. I believe we have our karma that we come in with, and that's just the law of cause and effect, and it's based on our beliefs from the past. So if we change our belief, we change the complete trajectory of our future. So I don't believe anything's written in stone. I believe in free will and the ability to change our karma. It's the only thing that makes logical sense to me. So if anybody ever says it's it's the same, it's already planned out and you just have to live it out, well, I don't agree. This book card also brings in the ability to find whatever is hidden inside. It's also a great card to show we can use cards to find out what's hidden inside, right? And in this instance, we're dealing with what are our obstacles? What are these obstacles that have kept us from, or have kept us in, being defended, being in this really challenged place? And of course, with a 10 of Cups reversed, this can even be like betrayals and loss of friends, because maybe it's just too hard to be in relationships sometimes when you're working on your own obstacles, when you're looking deeply. This card is very esoteric. In the Lenormand, the book card is, I actually love the card. I think it can have to do with man-made law, spiritual law, natural law, and, using cards. And of course, looking at everything hidden and unconscious. And that's how we clear out the obstacles. In fact, our unconscious those are our obstacles, and they will always come in order to help us heal. So the more inner work we do, the more we clear out the defensive patterns, because they just don't play out anymore. We're not engaged that way in life anymore. Once you do your own work, then it changes everything. And it does bring us back into our inner authority. The Tower in the Lenormand is very different, very, very, very different than the Tower in the Tarot. So once we come back to our inner authority, going through the process, it can have us feeling a little isolated and alone sometimes, and we lose friends, and we're exhausted, and so we have to just kind of give up, and then new friends come in. But the more you you commit with the ring, the message here has to do with commitment. The more you continue, this could be looked at as as the Wheel of Fortune, where you just keep working at it. You just keep working, and you keep risking coming back to your own authority. You keep risking moving through your own life, even if you've lost friends. You don't want to give away yourself. That's the thing. You don't want to give away your inner authority just to keep a friend or a loved one or even a family member from approving, right? We only have our freedom. We only have our true freedom when we are willing to let go of outside approval, when we're willing to let go of appearing to be somebody that we're not. So, it's back to that old question, who do I think I need to be in order to receive love and approval? Well, when you come back home to who you truly are, and you're in that authority, there's a commitment to yourself that continues to grow and grow and grow and grow. And things change. Now, with, what is this guy? It's got to be the Knight of Swords, because he's got to... No, this is the King of Swords. Ooh, okay. So, man, check out that intense focus in his eyes. I love the expression. Wow. But yeah, so the King of Swords, when he's straight up, we're dealing with, our leadership. It's where our reason abilities work really, really well, and we're in truth, and we have, integrity. But when it's reversed, this is where we're out of our integrity. So you see how this all goes together. This could have been a family situation where dad cheated on mom, or dad wasn't around much, and mom was kind of left all on her own. And then kids had to feel kind of defended because no one was, there wasn't the happy family. But we can turn all this stuff around. Like I said, when we meet the pain of the past, we can be our own happy family. And then we have the resilience, right? This turns into resilience and courage. And the courage to always look within to find to work through our obstacles. And then we can get around the mountain and come back home to our happy family inside, because we know what a healthy male is, or a healthy mom is. And we can nurture our inner children inside when we need to, do our inner child work. And when we do that, of course, we come back to our inner authority, and that continues to grow and evolve. And that's a commitment. That's a lifelong commitment. And once you get to a certain point, you're not ever going back, and you don't take anything off of anyone. I mean, what's the worst they can do? I guess they can kill us, right? But we don't really die. No one ever really dies. So, to come inside the truth of your own integrity, be inside your own inner law, happy family, resilience, and courage. That's like the that's the beauty of healing, if we can do that. But it's a process. It's a huge process, and it can take years and years. But once you start working on it, it can go pretty fast, actually. It only takes years and years. Well, it can never happen for some people. And those would be the ones who don't go inside and don't look for the obstacles and don't take responsibility for their own lives. Instead, they want to... Here's how it could go if we're not doing it easily, or if we're not doing our own inner work. If we're not going to take self-responsibility for the fact that we Well, this is just what I believe. You don't have to believe this part, but I believe we choose our parents. And we choose them in order to heal something inside where we didn't know how strong and beautiful and resilient and powerful we are. They teach us to say no, the hard way. It takes, you have to grow up and be an adult before that can happen. Although I've seen a feisty 2-year-old that would teach a mom how to stand up for herself, which is a beautiful thing, If you've got a 2-year-old that says no all the time, but you're never saying no to your husband or anyone else in your family and you're a doormat, your 2-year-old's trying to teach you something, right? And then I just think that that's beautiful. But there's no judgment. The important thing here is to remember that there's absolutely no judgment. No matter what type of a horrific, tremendously painful childhood you experienced, it's never your fault. It's not made to judge even you or your parents. It's meant to help us learn how to love better. It's meant to help us come into our own authority when this is straight up. But if you don't do the work, what happens is you just keep spinning in this web of unhappy, family and relationships, and then you do tend to isolate yourself, kind of just stay inward, and then you're blocked. Meanwhile, we have all these secrets that we don't share with others because we think that no one else goes through the same thing we do. But we all have we've all had these issues in some lifetime or another, and maybe all in this one lifetime, just to heal. But yeah, how about just have the courage, or try it on? You know what? It's always something we can try on. If we take self-responsibility, if we say, okay, I create my own reality, I chose my parents because maybe there was a little bit like one of them, or because there's the good and the bad. There's the good, bad, and all the degrees in between. There's the beauty and there's the the pain. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that we have to go through it to try and heal it, to help us remember who we truly are. Because in every lifetime, we incarnate a little piece of distortion. It's really just a distortion. And again, no judgment, but we agree to temporarily forget who we truly are so that we can work through it. Otherwise, we're not going to pay attention to it. And then once you work through it, then, you're closer and closer to this happy place inside where it's just ultimate happiness. And then you have more resilience and more courage. And then you want to keep looking more deeply at the obstacles, because every step along that spiral path inward to heal, you keep coming more and more and more into your own power and your own authority. And then, there's just the utter integrity. But not everybody's going to want to go down that route, and probably I'll even get some comments about, I've had them before, where we're in that tricky paradox of victim versus persecutor. And the only way to break that vicious circle is for one of the parties to get out of it. Now, the persecutor is always probably going to want to stay there because they get off on it. It's usually the victim that goes, hey, wait a minute, I'm leaving. I'm going to get a temporary restraining order. I'm going to do everything I can. I'm taking the kids. And it takes so much to get to that point when you have kids. It's especially if you've been set up in type of a situation where they have ratcheted down financial, supply. That can be very, very, very challenging. But thank goodness we have systems of support in place so that women can get that support. And sometimes it's men, sometimes it's women that have been beating up their husband. It can go both ways. It's much more common the other way around, though. But to take self-responsibility for the new life that we want to create, that means we're always going within and we're breaking through obstacles all the time, and we will get to this happy place and we will have our integrity back. It's just work. But if you want to stay in the victim place and blame the other person for where you are, even though they are 100%, let's say they're 99% at fault and you're 1% wrong because you stayed in it, it's that 1% where you can take back your power, because you can flip it on its head. You can go completely the other direction. And yeah, they're bad and wrong. They were. To be abusive is terrible. That's awful. But if you let them do it, continue to do it, then, we stay in this place. And so now we can see why, a lot of people are having less children, and a lot of people are having a harder time committing to marriage, right? I mean, we can see it. So there's healing going on between the sexes that has happened for eons. I mean, just imagine way back when, when we could be beat over the head with a club without even any words because we were the weaker sex. So the distrust and the manipulation, all of these things, when these cards were reversed, that's what we're healing. We are healing, and we have laws in place to protect us. So, okay, well, I think I'm going to stop. Otherwise, this is going to get too long, and it's an entirely different subject, or something that, just goes on forever. So, anyway, my prayer is, my wish, my intention, to me, intention and prayer are the same thing, is that we all learn that we create our own reality, no matter how painful our past has been. We can always turn it around. So, okay. Thanks, you guys. Take care. Bye.